Hello and welcome to 34 diagrams in 34 days. I'm going to draw a diagram every day because I think that is the best way for you to learn. We're going to start with the PPFs, or sometimes called PPCs. Our production possibility frontier represents the maximum possible combinations of goods and services that can be produced in an economy. On the y-axis, we might say we have consumer goods. On the x-axis, we might say we have capital goods. If I draw it with a straight line, this shows us the maximum quantity of capital goods and consumer goods that I can produce at any one time. So for example, I could produce at this point, and I could produce A capital goods and 1 consumer goods. If we produced at point B, we would be being inefficient. We are within our maximum capacity. We could create more consumer goods without having to give up any capital goods, or we could produce more capital goods without having to give up any consumer goods. To note, point C is impossible. It is outside our frontier. PPFs perfectly represent the opportunity cost. An opportunity cost is the value of the next best alternative foregone. By moving from point A to point B, we have gained 5 units of capital goods. However, we have had to give up 10 units of consumer goods. So the opportunity cost is 10 units of consumer goods. You often will not get constant PPCs. They won't always be drawn with a straight line. And so we may have consumer goods and capital goods with a PPC that bows outwards. That's because we have diminishing returns as we move towards the extremes. As I move from point A to point B to point C, I'll have increasing opportunity costs because of this curved PPC. We can see that when I increased from A to B, I may have gained 15 units of capital goods, and I may have given up 10 units of consumer goods. So my opportunity cost is 10 units of consumer goods. We can see if we move from B to C, we have a much smaller increase in capital goods. We're only gaining 5 units of capital goods. But to get those 5 additional units of capital goods, we're going to have to give up 15 units of consumer goods. We can see that the opportunity cost is bigger than it was before. The opportunity cost of moving from B to C is 15 units of consumer goods.